Good. You alright, Spiegel? Well. Wow. Yeah, you just keep sleeping, buddy. Go out whenever you want. Yeah. It's a hot day and the kitty cats are sleeping inside. Alright. I've not played Neverwinter in a hot minute. I think we're supposed to talk to the landlord here in the workshop. I don't know what the workshop is.
My homeland is lost to me.
Ah, you must be the adventurer Sergeant Knox spoke of.
I like his outfit.
You do look the part. I must admit I'm quite relieved. I would never have considered an adventurer for the job, but the sergeant just might be onto something.
So what's the job? What's up, Smeagol? Do you want to come over here, buddy? Come on. Come on. Come on. You could come over. Are you waking up? You want to go outside? Yeah? Right when I get started, you're wanting to go out? Or are you just going over to the other chair? You can go over there. Where are you going? You're not sure where you're going? You're not sure you're ready to go anywhere? You waking up, buddy? Your daily routine. Yeah, it's 5 o'clock, buddy. It's time for you to wake up. Get some dinner. Start thinking about going outside. You've been in the air conditioning since 7 o'clock this morning. Oh, yeah. I think I need to put some flea powder on you tonight, buddy. Alright, so what's the job?
This workshop was once a sight to behold. Famed artisans filling commissions day in and day out. The amount of gold flowing through that door. Well, as you can see, those days are long gone. The workshop needs someone who can help return it to its former glory. It needs a leader.
So you want me to lead the workshop?
The artisans employed at the workshop would be under your command. Their training and daily tasks, as well as hiring and firing, would be up to you. In return, should you have any need of wares they can craft, provide the materials and commission, and your order will have the highest priority.
So this is this crafting in Neverwinter? Is that what this is all about? Is the crafting component of the game?
Excellent.
Meow.
I'm sure you'll turn this place around in no time, and I know just where to start. You've arrived at an opportune moment. The previous master's retainer quit months ago, and I have assembled replacement candidates. Why don't you speak to them? They'll be serving you after all.
Hey,
I can assure you they're all competent candidates, so choose whomever you get along with best.
I gotta let Smeagol. I'll be right back. Alright, kitty cat is out. Should be good to continue here. Alright, so he says, why don't you speak to the master's previous retainers, the replacements? Okay. Choose a retainer. Does it matter? We have melees.
Well, well, well. Clement didn't mention that I'd be working for such a handsome lord.
God, she does so many voiceovers
Melees,
in Star Trek
charmed.
Online.
You and I are destined to make quite the team. And destiny doesn't take...
Ah, my lord, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Siren. I've served in a workshop before.
So, you're going to be the one running this place, eh? I'm Fenella. And you? Well, you're not what I was expecting. But
Understand one thing. If you are serious about restoring this workshop,
He has a good
you
beard.
will hire me.
My lord, I'm honored to make your acquaintance.
I don't like
am
you, Callum.
Callum, and I have heard so much about...
My friend, it is good to meet you. Call me Forum. All the candidates appear competent. The choice ahead of you is a difficult one.
Okay, so
Trust your instinct.
he
That
has...
is my only counsel for you.
Yeah, he has
I would be glad to work for
a
you.
little bit of
if you would have
humility.
me.
I think Forum's going to be my man.
Well, what do you think? Have you made... Ah, that's your decision, is it? I can't say I disagree. Well then, shall I send the rest home and we can continue? A fine choice. Well then, with that, I'll take my leave. Your retainer will help you get things up and running in the workshop. I'll be back now and again to check up on your progress. I have high hopes, adventurer. High hopes.
Choose a starting profession. Ooh. So this is the crafting tutorial. Okay. Cool beans. I didn't know anything about crafting until tonight. Lord Montewith has provided us with funds to purchase the tools and materials we need to get started. However, there's only enough for a single profession. Alright. What are my professions? Alchemy, armor smithing, artificing, blacksmithing, jewel crafting, leatherworking. What's the difference between leatherworking and tailoring? Leatherworking is armor, belts. Oh, and they make straps and paddings used by blacksmiths and artificers. What is artificing? Those who use magical weapons or bow and arrow will... Okay. So I could make a bow. Man, I'm gonna need to look this up because I don't know. What is the best profession? Okay, it says leatherworking makes armor. Artificing makes bows. Okay, that's interesting. Well, man, I don't really know. The quest gear has been pretty good to date. I don't know that I necessarily care about crafting enough yet to need to worry about it, but I kind of feel like a weapon would be my best choice because the gear I'm getting from quests has been pretty good, but if I can make a really good weapon, that's going to be my #1 component. On the flip side of that, you could always get a good bow off the auction haul and just make really good leather gear. And cosmetically, there might be some really cool leather gear that I want. I'm going to go leatherworking. You'll be able to pursue any profession you like in the future, but you only have materials for leatherworking to begin with. What does that mean? you'll be able to pursue any profession you like in the future. Okay. Go to the items tab of your inventory and open the profession starter kit. Hang on. It's giving me too many fucking pop-ups. Alright. Open. Okay. Got a whole bunch of mats and some tools. Aha! So this is where it put my profession stuff and tools. Do I have to equip the tools? Maybe not. Learn how to run the workshop. Give view new artisan applications at the desk. Strongly advise you to accept the initial applicants. You can always dismiss them if they don't work out. Oh, that's just... Four new applications. I can have 11 of them max. Okay. Okay. Accept. So they've got all sorts of different bonuses. Alright, order one of your artisans to craft an item. Just use the work table right beside me. Okay. Recipe list. Okay. Where do I get mats? That's the next question I'm going to have, is where do I get the crafting mats to use? Oh, so there's morale, which you can use to craft immediately. Okay. Or you can just order it and spend time. And I bet you can buy morale with the cash shop, probably. Morale recovers naturally at the start of each day, or you can pay a bonus in astral diamonds. Of course you can. Okay. We can get a head start in gathering supplies. Use the dispatch board. Aha! Gathering raw materials. Perfect. He said dispatch board. That's over here. Animal hides. Oh, and he uses a crossbow. That's awesome. Okay. All sorts of fun stuff. Alright, and if I hover over it, it'll show me. Those are the different pieces I can gather. Okay. Nice. Okay. Okay. You can always buy from merchant or at auction hall. Okay. Profession merchants. Alright, so we have to wait for those gathering tasks to complete, which is 10 minutes at minimum, so we're not going to hang out and wait for that. I kind of got an idea of how this is going, so what I'll probably do is come back here and check on this in the morning. Alright, we need to travel to Ice Spire Peak. Oh, that's right, I changed to a slug. I forgot about that. I have a slug now instead of a horse. Alright, Ice Spire Peak. What's up, Jitterbug? Alright. We've arrived. When the Icehammer dwarves, led by Florin Icehammer, reclaimed Icespire Peak, they established a humble surface town to be a foothold until a grander subterranean hall could be established. Composed of a few dormitories, a forge, and a rudimentary wall, Torindar was intended as a temporary settlement. When the frost giants attacked, the sleepy mining town rapidly evolved into a battle camp. Dormitories suddenly became infirmaries. The forge that once produced mining tools now churns out axes and shields. Though Torindar was never meant to be permanent, the Icehammer dwarves would should have died than give it up to any invader, be they goblin, troll, or giant. It's a very Minecraft-looking statue right there.
Ah, so you're here to aid us. Well, that's good news for both of us. We need the help, and there's plenty of fortune and glory in it for you too, if you can stay alive. So, you want to help out, do you?
There were still projects ongoing in Prospector's Ridge when the goblins attacked. My soldiers fought bravely, but had to retreat and couldn't protect all of the workers there. The scouts say many workers are being held captive. These men and women are essential to our efforts. Soldiers need weapons. The walls need to be maintained. The catapults need to be repaired. You save those workers, and our chances improve. The blasted goblins likely stole many of our tools as well. Bring back whatever you can find.
Okie dokie.
Torindar is relatively safe, but it won't stay that way for long if we don't push back this unnatural permafrost.
I like her armor.
The Winter Forge. It's the artifact responsible for our recent defeat here on Icespire Peak.
Okay.
Every day, the Winter Forge swells with power An enchanted ice crawls down the mountain. Unbearable cold emanates from the shards that appear. But fortunately, when we shatter them, things seem to return to normal. If you're unfortunate enough to be out on the mountain when the shards take form, do me a favour and break a few, will you?
I can do that. Alright, let's get off my, Man, I like her armor. What do we got right here? Open book. In the heart of the colossal dead giant atop Ice Spire Peak, the ice hammer, an ancient weapon from which the dwarves of the Shore Mountains take their name, lays buried. When their leader, skilled ice hammer, slew the frost giant Lakar a century ago, he left the mighty artifact behind. Though trumpeted as a hero for this feat, the weary giant slayer avoided all discussion of the hammer or the horrid battle in which it was lost. Upon the patriarch's death, Florin Icehammer's skilled son and heir returned to Ice Spire Peak to locate and retrieve the fairy heirloom. Okie dokie. Let's go ahead and sell some of this stuff, buddy. It's a lockbox. I don't give a shit. I'm never going to use a lockbox, so I'm going to sell all the lockboxes. So these are worth those points. I probably shouldn't sell them. Man, they really want to double check everything here, don't they? Wish you could do multiples. Select to here. Yeah, I can't select like multiples, can I? Nothing like inventory management. What is this? How do I equip? Nice, so I have two. Okay, that was that bag of holding. Nice. So some of these items... Some of these you have to do the confirmation timer, and other ones you don't. Wait, do I not have another mask? Yeah, I do. Oops. Alright, 3 more items and we're done with inventory management. Alright, we're done. Hrimnir and the Winterkill tribe. When the frost giant Hrimnir and his army marched from the caves at the very top of Ice Spire Peak, it was apparent to the Winterkill goblin tribe that The lands they called their home would soon no longer be theirs. A small tribe, they might not have the strength to withstand against Hymner's might, but unwilling to leave their lands, but unable to prevent Hymner from taking his land by force, the tribe surrendered to the Frost Giant leader and agreed to become part of his army. His first order to the Winterkill tribe, after gleefully crushing their chieftain under his foot, was to raid and harry the Icehammer camps in preparation for the real assault, a task which the goblins had already been happily fulfilling to a smaller degree. There's some goblins down there. Ah, there we go. I wanted to zoom out a little bit. That's much better. Always too close to my character. Alright, we're zoomed out. Hi, boys. Okay, that's one of the mining tools recovered. Mining tools. Okay, seldom visited by sightseers, the rugged beauty of the Sword Mountains strikes awe into those who brave their dangers. Spire Peak is no exception. In the winter months, temperature drops so low that even the alpine rivers and their mighty waterfalls freeze solid. It is an eerie and wondrous sight to behold the great waterfall on Lower Icespire stopped mid-plummet, each flowing strand of water frozen in a glittering arc. Oh, I got a new, I forgot about this too. Ooh, I got stunned. I may need to take a health potion. Drinky drink! Okay. I need a couple more mining equipment. Oh, there's some up in here. Alright, I need one more. There's one right there.
Winter, kill!
Oh, I got hit by that anyway. Gosh darn it. I gotta learn how to avoid that better. Okay, we're good to go. Back we go. By the way, the thing I love about this snail is the mount animation. Check this out. So when I like mount the thing, it pulls me up with its head and chucks me onto the saddle. That's such a cool animation. That's the other reason I'm using it instead of the horse, because it just looked really funky. I was like, ah, that's totally worth my time.
Our people have returned, so we can trust you, eh? That's good, as there's still much to do. You say the captors overheard the location of the goblin hideout? Then we must make a plan.
These winter-killed goblins have us fighting on the defensive. We need to take the fight to them, but we don't have enough dwarves for a frontal assault. You, on the other hand, might be able to do what an army can't. We need you to infiltrate past the goblin lines, cut your way through their warrens, and kill their chieftain, Murgle Mawcrab.
That is totally doable, sir. Time to go kill us a goblin leader. Did he just yell in your eye? Well, if he did, I'm gonna have to. Alright. I will be right back. The snail is awesome, Joe. Great new song, by the way, Joe. By the way, Joe, I remember I reached out to you a while back about music for the game. My brother is... We're in the end game. We're like on the final path now, so we're having some conversations about things. So theoretically, I'll be reaching out at some point in the relative near future to see what your schedule looks like and what you might want to see out of that. It's all still coming together. We got to make sure that we don't need any more assets from the asset store and stuff first. But once we iron that out, and I'm gonna have to spend a chunk of our Patreon money probably to make a flight up to Missouri at some point, because the banks are being stupid about wanting to open up a bank account. We haven't needed a bank account yet, but we're to the point where we need a business account, and they don't want to do it remotely because I'm not there to physically go into the branch with him. So at some point I'm gonna have to go through. So once we iron out how much we need for the flights and everything else, and what's left over after that is gonna be budget for music and any assets that we have left. So once I know more, I will be talking to you soon. Yeah, man, because I know you like Icewind Dale, and I want something Icewind Dale-ish. So, but don't stress about it right yet. It's still. I know I had reached out to you about it months ago, and then my brother got sidetracked with like 2 rounds of COVID, 3 rounds of strep throat, family shit, inflation, cost of living, and everything else. Yeah, and he had the holidays too, so he's finally got back into it about 3-4 weeks ago, and he's just been kicking ass and taking names. An unforgiving environment, Spire Peak lay mostly uninhabited in the decades after the Icehammer clan abandoned its settlements there. Many others have attempted to settle the peak, but all efforts were defeated by the merciless wasteland. The once numerous tribes of frost giants who formerly ruled here slowly dwindled to a small band of those few reluctant to leave the heights. Also, Joe, we got our Valheim stuff sorted. So, unfortunately, I can't leave the server up all the time. It's only going to be available when I'm available. So, I don't know when I'm playing Valheim yet, but I'd like to play Valheim at least once a week. Starting this upcoming week. I've already played it a couple times, but I know you had mentioned maybe you'd have time. Maduros might have time. I know he was working until late March on server deployments. Kel wanted to join. Mugen already tested it with me on Saturday, so it's good to go. It's just a matter of I have to be online to set the server up. So. Alright, this is a big cave, it looks like. Alright, I'll be right back, everybody. I need to double check with Chris. See if she wants me to make any more coffee or if she wants to go to bed early tonight. I'll be right back. That was a funny answer to my question because I literally just looked. She was watering plants outside. I was like, "Do you want to go to bed early tonight, or do you want coffee?" And she's like, "Get the stove going, get the kettle on." So apparently we're having coffee tonight, which is like 6 o'clock or something right now. Almost 6, it looks like. All right. Oh yeah, dude. So because of the heat here, Joe, because of how we're in the hot season right now. Like it's 100. It was 100 degrees today, I believe. I'll tell you what it was today. So my schedule is whack right now. It was 97 today. It's gonna be 100 tomorrow, 102 on Tuesday, 103 on Wednesday, 101 on Thursday, 100 degrees on Friday, and then sub 100 temperatures next weekend. So we're getting into the middle of the hot season now. May is the hot month. May is the month when we'll get up to like 105, 110. We had a couple of 115 days last year. So May is the month that I'm not looking forward to, but April is when it starts to, end of March, beginning of April, it starts to get hot. It'll be really hot throughout May, and then June it starts to get back down, and July it'll still be kind of hot. But by the end of July, we're into like the, 90 to 95 anyway. Anyway, because it's so hot, I've been just like hunkered down here and doing weird naps, and like even Chris was in here during the heat of the day today in the office with me on the bed. We just hung out for like 3 hours. We were both watching TikTok and stuff on our phones. But I'm just staying up till like midnight right now to work because we're still sleeping in the living room. We don't have air conditioning in the living room, so I gotta wait till it cools down enough to go to the living room and sleep, because it'll still be hot enough that I don't want to sleep in there. Even with the fan on, it's like, it's hot. So by about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, it cools down enough. It'll get down, 75 degrees or so, that it's not bad with the fan on. And I could sleep in here with the air conditioning, but we're waiting until May 15th, because May 15th is when the government kicks in and subsidizes the air conditioning. So otherwise you have to pay 100% out of pocket, and it's expensive really fast. Homestead problems, man. My schedule's all wonk, so I've been staying up till late, and then the cats get us up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I go run. I've been trying to run every day. Not every day, but I'm running 3 times a week and doing squats and lunges and stuff the other days of the week. Chris has been going with me. I'm down 6 pounds in about 3 weeks. But I'm trying to do that at like 5:30 in the morning before it gets really hot. You don't want to be outside doing exercises past like 6 in the morning. I'm missing that Colorado weather, man. I saw those snow-capped peaks in your video, and I was like, oh, I don't miss shoveling snow, but I do miss Colorado. And yet, I didn't know this either about the heat, is that I was watching some science documentary the other day, and they were talking about how the brain actually needs to cool down for you to feel like to get sleepy. And so when it's hot, that's why it's really hard to go to sleep when you're hot, because the brain doesn't want to sleep when it's hot. The brain actually wants it to be cool for sleep mode. And I didn't know that. Oh yeah, March, man. I'll never forget. I went and saw, there's this movie called The 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas that came out years and years and years ago. I went to the movie theater in Loveland to watch that film, right? And I went there, and it was like, I went into the theater, it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I went to the matinee showing, and went into the theater. It was like 95 degrees outside, 93, 95 degrees. It was April. It was like 90-ish, 90 degrees or something. Beautiful sunny day. Went into the theater, saw the film, came out of the theater, and it was like 3 inches of snow on the ground and like flurry conditions outside. And there was this couple who had come in on his Harley, and they were just in leathers and on the Harley, and like they're looking out the window going, how the hell are we getting home? And I felt so bad for him, because it was just a beautiful sunny day, go watch a movie, come out of the movie, and it's just 3 inches of snow, and it's just like blah. Colorado. Oh, yeah. Are those all on fire? Can I shoot those? No, must have a target I can't shoot. None. Oh, there's dudes down here. Oh, these are all sharpshooters, okay. I may need to switch out for my healer NPC. Yeah, well, that's definitely Colorado. The next day after that shoot was freezing and snowy. Hey man, I gotta say too, Joe, I really like the I know that I don't know if that's just a new thing you're doing, but I like the format you've been doing where you've been recording songs outside. Like, maybe I haven't gone back enough into your back catalog. Maybe you've just been doing that forever and I didn't realize it. But I like the format recently, like on the shore of the lake and out the valley with all the views and everything else. Don't get me wrong, I like the stuff you produce in the studio as well, but I think there's an aesthetic with those outdoor videos that I really appreciate. That's one man's opinion, however. I'm only one guy on the internet. I tell you what, guys. I'm gonna need that coffee. I am yawn mode. Oh, that was a single target shot for 43,000 damage. That was nice. Amethyst. Yeah, it does add a lot. I suppose the question though is, you know, do you have to ever go back in and do any redubbing in the studio, or do you usually get what you need in the outdoor takes? Like if there's too much wind, or I don't know if you got to go back in and redo anything in the studio. What the hell is shooting me from behind? Oh crap, there's another group back there. Alright, get up on these guys. How come I can't use that stuff at the bottom? Cannot ride your mount here. that worked. Huh. Requires Arcana skill. Wind is a problem sometimes. I do add more in the studio sometimes, but I'm trying to keep it more streamlined lately. Battery failure has been tricky too. Yeah, I hear you there. That was actually one of the reasons, not a recording thing, but when we bought the drone, when I bought my Maverick DJI Pro, it came with, you know, the one battery and then I think a second one. But because I knew we were going to Ireland for a whole month and I didn't know the conditions were going to be for that trip and the contract and everything, I knew we were going to be on at least 2 weeks on the road in a car traveling the Wild Atlantic Way. And so I went ahead and bought 4 batteries, and there's a quad pack charger that you can get, which it was amazing because you can literally plug all 4 batteries into it, and I got the car charger as well as the car adapter, plus being able to have like the it was overkill though, because I never drained more than 2 batteries in any given day. There was one day I did 3 batteries, but I never once got to the 4th battery, even on the longest shoot day. But I tell you what, I would rather have the extra battery than have ever been in a situation where I would like need the shot and not be able to get the shot because the batteries had died. So this is actually something that Chris and I are having a dilemma with right now, because we're in the hot months right now and the power goes out frequently. We get power outages here, and it is absolutely miserable to be without power in 105 degree heat because you have no fans, no air. Forget the air conditioning for a minute. You don't even have a fan. And so we've been talking about getting a generator's out of our budget right now, but we've been talking about getting one of those mobile battery packs that a lot of like the RV van lifers use. You know, they're a few $100, but they'll give you, you know, 3 to 6 hours worth of a charge depending on what you need out of them. But the idea is that so at the very least we would have a fan because it is absolutely brutal when the power goes out, because there's just too many people on the grid. I don't remember what that did. I need to go look at that. That's a big ball of light that goes somewhere. But also just, you know, we had our first blackout. Like the power company took down the grid for like 7 of the towns around us to do some improvements, and it was out from 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, what time did it go out? Sorry. Not 3 o'clock. It was because I was in the middle of doing my D&D group, so it was like 7:30 at night, and then it went out for like 4 hours. And it did like we didn't even have cell service. Like they took out everything, including the cell towers and everything. So it was truly bizarre to be like almost like we were back in the 80s, you know, or the early 90s before there was internet and before there was cell phone towers, because we had no internet, no power, no cell service, nothing. And so Chris and I were literally just running around. We just had a flashlight. We went and hiked up to the top of the town and like looked out, because everything on our side of the river, for as far as the eye could see in either direction, it was just pitch black. But the other side of the river, everyone had power. So you could literally see all the lights going up and down the river, you know, for as far as the eye could see. But our side of the river was completely black. But it was so bizarre not even having cell phone service. And it was like, we came back home and it was like 9:30 at night, and it was so hot. I just literally was laid down on the concrete slab and was just like laying there, because it was so hot. Like laying on the slab, at least I was like, I feel like my cats right now, because they're all just hanging out on the slab just because it was the only cool place to kind of like, you know, not feel like you're dying. And my brain was literally going to all those post-apocalyptic like Walking Dead shows, or like Jeremiah or Jericho, where the world just ends, and there's like one day it just everything's over, and there's no internet, and there's no more infrastructure, and I was just laying there at like 9:30 at night, sweltering, thinking like, is this it? Like, what if this was it? Like, what would be the course of action from here? Like, do we make a run on the grocery store? Like, do you make a run? What do you make a run for? Like, what's the first thing you make a run for? Because at that point, if there's no rules and there's no, there's no more infrastructure, what do you do? Do you steal a car and fill up 20 gas cans and drive north? Do you, what do you, if you're in the United States, most people are going to Walmart and they're stocking up on guns and gas probably. Here you don't have access to guns like that. So finding firepower is not going to be available right out of the gate. But a vehicle, yes, you could get your hands on a vehicle. Definitely get your hands on gas. Make a run on the grocery store. Yeah, dude, it was totally like my brain was like in like sci-fi mode going, what do we do? Is this it? What would it be like if this is it? I gotta watch out for the traps on the floor there. Oh, he's running away from me. And he's dragging me through the traps. Dude, come back here. Oh, he hit me with something. Oh, and then I just backtracked through the trap. That wasn't very smart of me. Oh, did he run off? Totally ran off. It just says I need to leave the wardens now. Oh, I got hit in the trap. Yeah, I get it. There are a lot of people asking that question in certain situations right now. Man, I tell you what, it's I know that you know because you live a simple life, much like we do. There are times, some people would look at the way Chris and I live and they would be like, "Oh, you're living in, I wouldn't want to live in those conditions." For example, only the office is air conditioned. The rest of the house is not air conditioned, and we're not going to go spend, $1,500 to install air conditioners in the rest of the house, because that $1,500 could be spent on, other things. Like, we're talking about building a big, huge fence around a retaining wall, 6-foot retaining wall around the rest of the property to just block out all the rainwater, so that we don't get flooded during the rainy season, which comes in June. We've also been talking about getting a car, and it's like, we spent a chunk of our savings, a chunk of our life savings to buy this place in cash, but that's the thing, it's paid for, it's in cash, we have no debt, no mortgage, no credit card, nothing, no debt whatsoever, and because the cost of living is low, we don't have, we have universal health care. It's a different way of life, and I look at that and like I was showing Chris today. I was on TikTok, and like I'm looking at this person who does these he does New York City apartment reviews on TikTok. So he's going into these like what's considered middle class apartments in these high rises that are like 1-bedroom broom closets that are renting for $4,500 a month to $6,000, $4,500 a month to $6,000 a month for a, not much bigger than, they're not very big. And our house is not very big either, but we have a backyard and it's up against the woods, you know what I mean? So it's like we have our chickens. We have 6 chickens now, and Chris just bought 7 meat chickens. So we have 4 egg layers, 2 roosters, one of whom's about to get butchered for meat because he's just about old enough. And then Chris just bought 7 meat chickens like a week ago. I just put that video up, I think, yesterday or the day before on the Homestead channel. So like, a tiny little apartment in a skyrise that's like, let's say $5,000 a month. That's just rent, unfurnished, on a rented, unfurnished, man. Yeah, the mortgage thing is a big deal. So, yes, it's hot, and I will bitch and moan about. I step outside of my office. A lot of the times in my streams recently, you'll notice I'm wearing a bandana, I'm wearing a headband, and that's because it's just I have to keep going out of the office to go do yard work and help with chickens and cats and everything else. And if I'm outside of this office for more than 5 minutes, I'm just dripping sweat. So I just wear the bandana if I know that I'm going to be in and out of the office a lot because it's hot outside. It is what it is. But it's like you hear people talking about how, having oh, my utility bill was $300 for the month. So turn your fucking air conditioning down. Like, you don't need to, like, if you're not going to be in the back room, don't air condition the back room. Like, you don't, like, the central air thing blows my mind because here everything is mini splits. So it's like, if I'm not going to be in that room, I'm not going to cool that room down. And so if I go into a room, I can turn on the air conditioner for that room. And that's the way that, like, the vast majority of the world does it. The idea of central air blows my mind because you're literally paying to heat or cool huge portions of your home that you're not even in. Blows my mind. But the cost of living thing, man, it's rough. I'm very blessed. Chris and I talk a lot about it. It's like, yeah, some months we're like, oh, money's tight this month, but it's like, yes, but I don't have a $2,500 a month mortgage or a $4,500 a month rent payment and health insurance and all those costs. Ugh.
I admit, that was a long shot sending you to kill Murgle. You have the Icehammer clan's thanks.
Woot! We're gonna ding. Level 12.
You want to help out, do you?
I do want to help out, but I want to see what I just got. That is better than what I'm wearing. What does it look like? Oh, it's like a blue, funky... I don't like the look of that, I'll tell you that much. Boo. Oh, I need to do some leveling up, apparently. Those are passives. Okay, so I need to choose a feat here. Death Strikes, or Focused. Each second you stay in melee stance, your melee attacks do 20%. No, I think we'll go Focused. Character sheet. Stats. 2 points available. Let's go ahead and level up Constitution. Oh, I can only put 1 point there. I guess we'll take Strength. Nah, we'll take Dex. Well, Alright, should be good to go now. Oh, I forgot about my coffee. I'll be right back. Yes, not being a slave to the bank is cool. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is like, I mean, they kind of vary in cost, but like the one I've gotten here, because it's a small room, we paid $300 for it, and then I think we spent about, $100 for the install, so like $400 in total. It does a good job. The only time it struggles when it's like 100 degrees. From like 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, it'll struggle to keep the room cool, and it's because this is a west-facing wall, and it's just a block. It's just cinder block walls, so there's no insulation. So it's just when I get the afternoon sun beating down on the rooftop and this western-facing wall, it's just an oven in here. So but it does a good job. I mean, that thing does a great job of keeping it cool during the day. But I'll still sweat a little bit from like 2 o'clock till about 6 o'clock. There's about a 4-hour window, and it's because that sun is right there, like just beating on the on the cinder block. It's like fuck. But there are people like our neighbors. They don't have any air conditioning, and they live a simple life, and they just deal with it, and that is not pleasant. So I'm a little jealous of the snow-capped mountains. I'm not jealous of snow, though. I don't miss snow or ice at all.
Goblin scouts in the hills, eh?
Alright, man, coffee's back. I mean, best of both worlds. I mean, Chris and I are already talking about, I'm pretty sure the next thing we're doing is, we've got a few years to save up, but we probably need, I think we need about $5,000 is what we're looking at. We need about $5,000 to finish the renovations that we want to do to this place, which includes the big retaining wall around the entirety of the property, and we need to fix, the roof needs like waterproofing. It's not like an immediate thing. We need some plumbing needs to be redone, and I want to build I want to put some columns out the back and build like an enclosed patio with ceramic tile, and then I want to build an outdoor kitchen that has like a big grill area, and then a wood-fired pizza in the corner, a dome oven. So to do all of that, I think we've estimated around $5,000 to do all of that. That's literally all this property needs to be finished. And then beyond that, we're already talking about, I'm 43 now. So just depending on if YouTube continues to grow at the pace it's growing, and everything else. It's free. Neverwinter is free to play, Jason. You don't have to spend any money to play Neverwinter at all. You can pay money if you want to pay a monthly subscription, but it's free to play. But in any case, Joe, like looking at if the YouTube grows the way it's growing, I think we figure, it'll be about a 2-year project to get this, because it's not just about the cost, it's also about how long does it take to get everything installed. Because I won't build that retaining wall by myself. I'll hire somebody to do that. So those are nice little things you look at and say, if it costs $5,000 in about 2 years to finish the property, then we're done here. The next thing is get a car, which we don't need, but it'd be nice to have a vehicle. I have not owned a vehicle, by the way. I sold my truck in 2000. 2007, and I've not owned a vehicle since 2007. So it's, you know, it's been a long time. I'll rent vehicles when we're on vacation and stuff, but I haven't owned a vehicle in a long time. And then we're already looking at the next thing, which is getting a property up in the mountains. Probably not high mountains like what you're in, but yeah, always tag on like 25% for sure. But looking at, you know, like super chat for oh, thanks Joe. Appreciate that, man. $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Joe. Yeah, I always tack on like 25%. But you know, that's the property doesn't need anything done to it. It's just it was, you know, it's cinder block. You can't fuck up cinder block, you know. So now it's just a matter of we want to get a wall. I think the big thing is getting the wall done and getting the plumbing done. And then of course install air conditioning and everything else. But I don't think I'm going to do any more rewiring or anything else. It's just going to be. So here's the thing. We're pretty close to Chiapas, Joe. So San Cristobal de las Casas is about 6 hours if you drive. It's about, if you drive yourself, about 4. It just depends on how you drive. But it's 4 to 6 hours depending on the road conditions and everything up to San Cristobal. I love San Cristobal. I love San Cristobal de las Casas, that's closer to us, and it would be close to the family. So that's the natural place to do it, is to go up there and look. The only downside to San Cristobal is because it's Chiapas, the locals often block the roads for protests and stuff. So you can get into a situation. There's no airports up there, so I think it's 2 hours to the nearest airport from there. So if you ever are like needing to get in and out, like you are kind of at the whim of whether or not the locals are deciding to protest and block the roads. So the other options we've looked at is to go north and go up into Chihuahua or San Miguel de Allende, which is more touristy, Guanajuato, which is more touristy, but also up in the Sierra Nevadas, because there's some amazing stuff up in the Sierra Nevadas, and that's way north. But that's, you know, Durango and stuff up in there, which is way far away from the family. And that's one of the benefits of living here or going up to Chiapas and San Cristobal, is we would be still close to her family. So we could, you know, be visiting the family in like 4 to 6 hours. So yes, Jason, paying off your car is a huge thing. If you can have your car paid off, any sort of debt-free scenario is going to be a good thing. Water, as in access to water? It depends on where you live. Here's a funny story about where we live, Joe. So there's no water. We have a water bill, but it's an annual water bill. And it's not metered. So I pay a flat fee. This is not everywhere in Mexico, but where we live, the town where we live, it's a flat fee for water for the whole year. I can't remember what it is. It's like $15, $20 for the whole year. I pay like $20 for the whole year, and I don't have to worry about my water bill. That's it. However, we are in a small town of like 30,000 people. We're on the river. We don't have to worry about water. But there's only one water tower. And if they're ever doing work on anything, they'll let you know. The city council does a good job of going on social media, and they'll put a notification, hey, the pump's going to be off for 6 hours tomorrow. Be prepared. And so everyone here has either a cistern in the ground, or they have big, huge, well, you know, the big plastic, a lot of cattle farmers use it, but the big plastic water storage containers. A lot of people have those on their roofs. They call them rotoplasts, but they're just big water containers, you know, 300, 400 gallon or whatever. You put them up on your roof, and then you just have a gravity feed, so you don't need water pressure. Or people have what we do. We have a 50-gallon trash container, a 50-gallon plastic trash container that's right by our washing machine, and we just keep it full. And Chris usually just every time she does laundry, she will pull out of that to like rinse and stuff and refill it so that it doesn't get stagnant. But like our neighbor has they have a bigger one. They have like ours is a 50-gallon. They have like a 200-gallon big plastic tub outside of the back of their house. Everybody has some sort of water container here, because oftentimes you'll lose water for, I think the longest we've been out with water is maybe 6-8 hours. But I've heard horror stories of like back in the day before the infrastructure is better, where the town would be without water for like 2-3 days, and so you would have to plan ahead for that stuff. And I remember when Chris and I were here in 2014, the end of 2014, we were out here for about, not in this town, but the next town over where our family lives, which is a very small town of like 3,000 people. I remember we stayed in one of the colonias for like a week, and they only get water once a day. Literally, they only get water once a day. This was 2014, so almost 10 years ago. But they only got water once a day from like 7 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock in the morning. So everyone goes out, and if you're at the very end of the colonia, you can be a shit out of luck, because if everybody before you fills up all their containers before the water gets to you, and it's within that 2-hour window, you might not get water for the day. So everybody has to plan ahead, and everybody has lots of storage containers and 5-gallon buckets and 50-gallon drums and water containers they can, because the water only comes on once a day from 7 to 9, and you've got that 2-hour window to fill up all of your containers that you might need water for. That is a challenge for the people in the very poor rural communities, and that still exists in Chiapas, which leads to the aforementioned protests, because the poor people get fed up with the government not improving the infrastructure quick enough, and so they will protest, and what they will do is they will block the roads, they'll block the highway, and they'll come down, they'll block the highway, and they'll start taking stuff off of, like, they'll pull over, there'll be a semi truck, and he's hauling, I don't know, he could be hauling televisions, he could be hauling produce to Walmart, it doesn't matter. They will, the trucker has to get out of his truck, open up the back of the trailer, and they will just start taking shit off. And that's the tax. And they will just start doing that to everybody down the line until the government shows up and either agrees to whatever demands they've made, or they show up and like tear gas them, which has happened a few times. But most of the time, it's usually like they'll demand, like, the governor needs to come, the governor of the state needs to show up and meet with us and meet our demands. And so 12 hours will go by, 20 hours will go by, however long it takes for the governor to make it from the state capital with his entourage to that location to deal with the locals that are protesting about the poor living conditions. They'll negotiate. There will be a temporary ceasefire or whatever, and the roadblocks might last 12 hours, they might last 48 hours, but usually it's over with the negotiation. Rarely, it's very rare that they will come in and tear gas. Usually it's a peaceful solution. But Chris got stuck in one when we were moving here. She literally traveled here the week before, not even the week before. The movers showed up, loaded up the truck, left. She was supposed to get on a bus and do an overnight bus. The bus took the same route as the movers, and they both got stuck in the same roadblock. She was on the bus at the roadblock for 18 hours, and she didn't have any toilet paper. She didn't have any bottled water, nothing, because she was expecting to just be there in 12 hours, and instead she was on the bus for like 18 hours extra. Thankfully, guys were coming by on motorcycles, and she was able to buy a roll of toilet paper and a liter of water, and the bus driver kept the air conditioning on and everything, kept them running. But they were in a they were stuck in a roadblock for 18 hours because there was a protest going on, because the local government, the city government, had sold parcels of land that was supposed to be protected under, I think it's called ejido or ejidal. I forget the name of it in Spanish, but there are protected lands that are indigenous lands that are part of like the Mayan and Aztec cultures. They're not supposed to be touched by, but occasionally mistakes can be made. Something gets zoned improperly, something gets measured improperly, and some tracts of land were sold that were not supposed to be sold. And the indigenous population got pissed and rose up and said, "Fuck you," and went and blocked the highway. But yeah, $20 a year. I think it's 20. Chris might be able to correct me. It's very inexpensive. And then like our property taxes, we just paid our property tax, I think, a month ago. Our property tax for the whole year was $30, I think. $30 or $40 for the whole year was our property tax. So yeah, $30-$40 for property tax, $20 a year for the water. But it's different, everywhere you live is different, because like Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Mexico City, that's all metered water. It's still inexpensive, but you still have meters. But here there's no meters because it's just a small town with a single water tower. And then the river down at the base of the hill. But I'll tell you what, electricity is just as expensive as it is in the States because I lived in Mexico City for so many years, I forgot that they subsidize electric. And so during the hot months of the year, the government pays a huge portion of it. They'll pay like 75-80% of your electric bill. But during the cooler months, they don't because they expect you to not use the air conditioning as much. So that goes from May 15th to October 15th. Well, I'd forgot about that because we hadn't used an air conditioner in like 6 or 7 years since we left Cancun. And I got my electric bill in December, and I was like, holy shit. This is like 120, it was like $100 a month, for electric. And I was like, that's United States prices for my electric bill because I was used to paying like $25, $30 a month for my electric. And then I look at the bill and I'm like, oh, that's why it's $100 a month, because during the hot months it was subsidized, and so I was only paying like $25-$30 a month, and they were paying the other 70. And then it got to October and they turned it off, and so my October 15th to December 15th bill, they bill every 2 months, and so I got like a $220 electric bill and was like, what just happened? What just happened? So some things are inexpensive, some things are not. Some things are just like red meat, chicken. Any meat is going to be the same, almost the same price here as it is in the United States. Not quite the same price, but it's.
I'm concerned that something may have happened.
We paid. I bought a kilo, 1 kilogram of ground beef from the local butcher 2 days ago.
Good luck, adventurer.
And it was 185 pesos, which is right around $10. $10 for 2 pounds of meat. So that's right at $5 a pound for ground beef, which is not quite as high as the United States. I think the United States is more like $8 maybe a pound for ground beef. I think it might be more depending on where you live. But that's quite high for Mexico, like $5 a pound for ground beef. Chris was like, oh my God, ground beef has gone up a lot. And we paid a whole chicken, which is about 10 pounds, is about $13 for a whole like 10-pound chicken, which is similar to the U.S. Meat and cheese are usually about the same price, but everything else is like much cheaper. Like eggs don't really cost anything. Flour, produce, all that's much cheaper. But that water bill, I'm telling you, man, I can run my water 24/7, and thankfully I don't have any issues. I can't tell what those guys are yelling at me, but it almost sounds like South Park guys going, shoot to die, shoot to die. Investigate the triage camp. I like the lightning. Uh-oh, are those giants? What are those? Trolls. I don't want to get attacked while I'm reading here. Dwarves are no stranger to sieges. The triage camps are defended by stout warriors acquainted with battlefield strategy and determined clerics provided with healing magic. Okay.
Blood is wild!
Ice trolls. Woot! At least I don't have to burn them with fire. Frozen dwarf. Can I unfreeze him? Yes, break the ice. I'm alive! Thank you, friend! Oh, I guess that's the quest. I need to help 4 dwarves. Oh, there's a... a book here. Florin Icehammer and his Icehammer clan seemed well on their way to establishing a secure foothold in Ice Peaks with the exception of minor thefts. However, when they located the ancient Winter Forge, a mystical altar in the heart of the long-dead Lakar, he discovered his clan's legendary weapon, but in claiming the hammer, he disturbed the powerful magic lying dormant in the place, and now an army of frost giants, ice trolls, winter wolves, and snow goblins have pushed the Icehammer clan all the way back to Torrender itself and seek to drive the dwarves from Ice Spire Peak. Okay, so that's a little more on the background of what is behind the infestation here. Oh, there's a dwarf over here. Ah, coffee is good. Coffee is great. Let's see here. That's a giant cauldron. Alright, I need to find one more dwarf. I need to see what this does. So if it's stationary, it just does big wad of damage. Nature skill. Yeah, man. I'm drinking way too much. Recently, Chris and I are drinking three French presses a day, which comes out to probably... I probably have 4 cups a day. She has 2 to 3. I guess it's not that much. I have drank more in the past. Like there were some months towards the end of last year where I was drinking like 6-8 cups of coffee a day. Free the dwarves. Free the frozen dwarves up the mountain. It's pointing me. Okay, gotta go up the pass here. We're trying different types of coffee now too, because there's a lot of gourmet coffee down where we're at because of the mountains, because of Chiapas, and so there's a lot of Mayan coffees and indigenous brands and stuff. So we've been trying a lot of different coffees. These guys keep hitting me. That's pretty awesome. Look at them. They just bitch slap me down. That's so awesome. Oh, get out of the way. Get out of that, whatever that is. Oh, they exploded. How cool was that? Alright. Winter wolves. Yes, Chiapas does have excellent coffee. Oh, nice, dude. Yeah, for sure. If you worked at a specialty coffee place. Access unlimited. That's a very interesting thing, by the way. So, where we live, they have... We're not in Chiapas, we're on the border of Chiapas. Like, Chiapas, I think the border with Chiapas is... It just depends on what highway you're on, like 15 to 30 minutes away. So we're right on the border of Chiapas. We're in Tabasco, but we're on the border of Chiapas. And so Palenque is literally... I don't think it's the closest town, like touristy town, but Palenque is like 30 to 45 minutes away, depending on the highway and how you drive. But the so it's kind of like, so in the U.S. the natives have the tribes and the natives have the reservations, right? And they have their own rules and everything else in the reservations. So when you get into Chiapas, a lot of the especially in Chiapas, more than really anywhere else in Mexico that I'm aware of. Like if you want to go explore the ruins and visit like the various sites, like with the pyramids and everything else, like a good example of this is like Misolha and or Yachilan, sorry, Bonampak, not Misolha, Bonampak and Yachilan, which are amazing sites to go to, and they're incredibly well preserved, but they're deep in the jungle, and they are only accessed through the tribes. Like you cannot just go as a tourist or even a Mexican. You can't just go to those sites. You have to go to the tribe and work, and you have to. So I mean, they have it set up so it's very streamlined, but the tour agency that you use is like a tour agency with the tribe, and like the transportation is with the tribe, and you know, you want to go eat at a restaurant that's with the tribe. Like it's all done through the tribes, so you can't just go. You know, you have to do it all through them. You want to rent a boat and go down the river, it's, you know, with the tribe. And they do that, you know, with the same thing, like saying with the coffees and everything else. You know, it's all protected land, which is why those protests come up from time to time, because the protected land isn't always respected, and that's a huge thing in Tulum. As an example, one of the major issues in Tulum is that these resorts have come in and they have, in many cases, illegally built on tribal lands that they're not supposed to do, but because there's millions of dollars at stake, a lot of people just bribe the officials and get things pushed through, and then they'll operate for 20 to 30 years until somebody no longer wants to take a bribe anymore, or the bribes get too big to, you know, be paid. And then there's an issue of, like, I remember when the last year we were in the Riviera Maya, there was this big deal where there was a resort, had been there for like 30 years, and I forget exactly what happened, but it was tribal land. It had been sold off like 30 years ago so that this hotel could build. And then after 30 years, it come to find out that the paperwork that was originally filed 30 years ago was corrupt. It was false papers. And so all the papers had been pushed through with bribes, and so all the paperwork was bogus. And so this hotel that had been there for 30 years was illegally operating. And all of this came to light, and it made it on the news and everything because the original owners showed up with like 30 guys with machetes and ski masks and went in and like took the place back by force. They literally walked in with machete. I mean, scared the shit out of all the guests, but they went in, they drug everyone out of their rooms, like, you know, not physically drugged, but like banged on the doors and woke all the guests up. And then, you know, you imagine that you're like 9 o'clock in the morning and you're in a hotel that you've paid $3,000 for an all-inclusive stay for like 4 days or whatever, and you wake up to masked men with machetes banging on your door, and you open the door going, what the fuck's going on? And they just push past you, grab all your shit, and throw it out on the street. That's literally what went down, and there was like 30 guests that were like out on the street, you know, and it was this big thing. But that's because it was built with bogus paperwork, you know, 30 years ago, and that's, you know, those kind of things happen when there's millions of dollars at play. Tulum's a wild place, man. I know it's like where a lot of the movie stars like to go, but it's so fucking corrupt. Tulum is really bad. Like, it is pristinely beautiful. It is amazing, but I would estimate that probably 50%. I mean, you talk to the locals, they might tell you more, but at least 50% of those properties have been built completely illegally on tribal grounds and protected reservation grounds that people just have turned a blind eye because someone will come in and pay like a $10 million bribe because they want to build a $500 million resort that's going to generate, you know, $100 million a year in profit. And so someone's just going to be like, well, I'll take the $10 million, and, you know, you just pay everyone off along the way. It's no different than anywhere else in the world.
What's your bet? So the camp was overrun with dwarves frozen in ice? Aye, a tragic bit of news. But I'm glad you saved all you could. I'll be sure loved ones are notified. Can I count on your aid to avenge the dead?
You can count on my aid. By the way, this guy's got the right idea. He's drinking a mug of ale by a campfire in the middle of the snow. He's not stupid. Hang on, are there cosmetics in this game? There are, but it doesn't look like I can just use normal items. Hey, Tulum's a beautiful place. It's also very... It's very laid back. If you just want to go smoke weed and hang out on the beach, Tulum is like the best place to go. And it's not the Cancun beaches, so it's not like the Spring Breakers. It's very much like Richard Bronson and the mega rich, all the movie stars, Jared Leto, Britney Spears, they all go to Tulum because it's this sort of off the beaten path. It's well known nowadays, but like it's 2.5 hours from the airport south down the coast. It's very much jungle coast. So the jungle comes right up to the edge of the beach, whereas opposed to Cancun, where it's like mega skyrise resorts everywhere, Tulum is more of the eco resorts. So you'll very much have luxurious accommodations, but it's like luxurious accommodations in the jungle with a private beach looking out over this amazing view. Tulum is amazing, don't get me wrong. I love Tulum. But it's like when you live in that area, you learn very quickly that it's not the hippie place that a lot of people proclaim it to be. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes.
There's still survivors trapped in the mithril mines farther up the mountain. We've been trying
they spelled mithril differently here.
They're using some kind of ice
so mithril is with an R-A-L, excuse me.
If we don't get those open, the survivors will all suffocate. I've requisitioned some alchemist fire from Nalius back at camp. Here, take it and get those air vents open. The thought of our clanmates trapped down there, cold, alone, struggling for air. We couldn't let it happen.
We couldn't let it happen. I totally forgot that I had a Star Wars The Old Republic premiere scheduled for tonight after I went live. That's hilarious. People can catch me live in 2 places. Alright. Clean blocked air passages. Those are all up in this area. I like those dwarven pillars up here. Alright, what am I looking for? Oh, I bet it's these things right here. These, like, pillars. But I tell you what, my favorite beach town in Mexico is Puerto Vallarta. Which is, it used to be really big in like the 70s and 80s. And so, like that was where all the movie stars were going in the 70s and 80s. And as a result, the architecture is it's very European. It feels a lot like you're in Greece or Italy, you know, because it's very Mediterranean. But I like the weather more than the Riviera Maya. And I just like the landscape because it's like mountains. It's like mountainous, tropical mountains that come up to the edge of the ocean. And because you're on the other coast, you're getting the afternoon sun, so you get amazing sunsets. But it doesn't have the sandy beaches that Cancun has. It has more like, you know, pebbly beaches It's very Mediterranean. It almost felt like you're on the edge of the Black Sea or edge of Italy or Greece somewhere. But it's a lot smaller. You know, it's not a very big place. There are the sandy beaches like in Cancun. That's in the northern part of Puerto Vallarta. But I like Puerto Vallarta. If I had to go, if I was going to live in a coastal town again, I wouldn't mind Puerto Vallarta, because we did 8 years in Cancun, and that was a lot. I mean, after 8 years, you've been to every beach, you've been to every restaurant, you've done all there is to do. 8 years in a place, you know. I think 4 years is probably enough to see everything there is to see in a place within 4 years. But we were actually talking about this the other day, because we had bicycles when we were living in Cancun, and so we would just ride to the beach. It was about a 45-minute bike ride from our house to get to the beach, depending on traffic, you know. But we were talking about the other day. It's like, I kind of miss just riding to the beach, you know. I'm not a big beach guy. I'm a white boy, like, you know, I burn. But Chris is a beach girl. Chris loves the beach. Loves the water. So she really misses it. We were talking about, well, how, you know, what would it take for us to just, you know, get on a bus and go back to Cancun for the weekend? Because it's an overnight, you know. 12 hours, you're back there, you know. It's like a $50 bus ticket, and boom. But then it's like, not really. I'm ready to go up to San Cristobal for the day, but because I like the mountains. We haven't been able to go anywhere for a long time because we had all those damn rescue cats. But they're getting to the point now where they're big enough to handle being alone for, you know, a day or two. And we need to get some more content for the other channel, so it's like, wouldn't mind doing a weekend trip or a day trip somewhere. Plus, our niece is more than capable of watching the house for us for a couple of days if we need her to. You cannot interact with this while you're in combat. I'm not in combat. I am now. Yeah, being able to just bike anywhere I think is a big deal if you live close enough to be able to bike somewhere. That was the funny thing. I remember I did a job interview like 5-6 years ago now. There was a startup in Austin, Texas that was interviewing me. And one of the perks of the job was they were like, you get downtown parking is included with included in your salary. And I was like, well, I don't need that, so I would prefer to have that in cash, you know. And they were like, oh, well, you know. And I was like, no, there is no, well, yeah, you know. It's like, I'm not going to drive to work. I said, if I end up coming to work for your company, you know, I will find a place that is within bikeable or walking distance of the job. I don't need parking. Like, the idea, because they were, the parking was worth, and I'm remembering off the top of my head, I believe the parking was worth like $2,000 a month was what they had it like slotted in, and I told them that I wanted that in salary. They were like, and I was like, no, don't be cheap, you know. This guy's gonna come attack me. Oh, the guards have got him. Cool. It blows my mind to think about paying $2,000 a month for parking. And that was like 5-6 years ago. I have no idea what parking would be like now. That's something like looking at the New York City cost of living, like when the rent is $5,000 a month for a tiny little one-bedroom apartment. I can't even imagine what the parking fees associated with that building are like. You know, something we haven't done yet, though, is I was thinking about this. We haven't put up any videos of the monkeys around here, too. We have, they're called the Sarajuatos. That's something else you're not going to get in the city. But they're a breed of howler monkeys. They're not actual howler monkeys. They're a subspecies of howler monkeys. And I think we've done a couple videos over on the Homesteading channel when Chris and I have gone out and done those sunrise photo shoots. You can hear them in the background because they sound like howler monkeys, even though they're not. You know, they're a subspecies of them. But they actually have, on the highways here, they have bridges that the government has built so that the monkeys can cross the highways without getting hit by vehicles. Oh yeah, dude, there's monkeys everywhere, dude. Like literally, I could walk 10 minutes outside of my front door on any given morning or any given evening. Well, because we haven't done a full video about them yet. They've showed up in a few of our videos, like, but we haven't actually shown them. It's just we've been out and about, and you can hear them. But if we go up the hill, so we're 10 minutes on foot from the edge of town. So the edge of town is, on the one side it's forest, on the other side it's the river, and then there's just huge fields of farmland, of just rolling hills with, you know, lightly forested, just cows everywhere. But on either side along the river and then up on the northern side it's just forest. And that's the monkeys just hang out. And so there's like all these different groups of these howler monkeys. And they're usually like 15 to 20 in a pack. And they're up. I mean, they're probably 50 feet to 100 feet up in the trees. But they'll pick a group of trees and they'll swarm it. And they'll stay there for like 3 or 4 days until they've eaten all the fruit. And then they'll move on to the next one. You cannot... Like, if you're anytime, like 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 in the morning, you'll hear them. So what I ought to do is when I'm running, I'm supposed to run tomorrow, I ought to record a video because I can't see them from where I run. I run downtown along the river. So our side of the river, it's the city park. It's a very beautiful, like, little area with, like, kids' playground and stuff. But on the other side of the river is just farmland. And it's just woods and farms, and there's three different groups of monkeys right now as of this past week, and they're about a quarter mile apart. But when I'm running at like 5:30 in the morning, that's all you can hear is like the monkeys are just going ape shit on the other. That's the way I said that. The monkeys are going ape shit. They're very verbal. They're very loud, and like Chris and I, if we walk down the other direction and go walking out towards the edge of town, we've seen them I think 6 or 8 times now. Like we've literally walked up to the edge of the tree and just like hung out and watched them for 20 minutes because it's fascinating, because they'll look down at you and totally like acknowledge that you're there, but they're just like up there in the trees just eating the fruit. And then they'll get bigger groups if you go deeper into the forest. And I've seen them, like, you'll be driving down the highway and like there'll be one of those bridges that goes across the highway and there'll be a family of them going across the bridge. What they do is they have like this, it's like a pedestrian bridge going across the highway, but it's encircled with nets and everything else. No, they don't fling poo. No, they do not. At least I've never seen them fling poo. I'd have to ask Chris about that one.
Thank you for the act of mercy.
Oh no, those were not as good as the boots that I have. The ice hammer. Ooh, this is going to dig me level 13.
Used to be the Ice Hammer clan's new stronghold on my Spire Peak. When the Giants' army overran us, we had to leave behind many of the treasures stored there. including the greatest clan treasure, the Ice Hammer. I've received orders from our leader, Florin Ice Hammer, that the time has come to retrieve our clan's treasure. A frontal assault with our army will do no good, though. It has to be one person or a small team who can infiltrate behind enemy lines. Sounds like a perfect job for you. What do you say?
Well, I'm in, of course, Mr. Dwarf, because that's what I'm here for, is to do quests for you. My brother says he played this game till like level 30 years ago when I forgot my PS4. I really thought it felt... So that's the thing I was talking about, Joey. Like, I've been playing this for, I don't know, a few weeks now. I only play it like once a week. Usually on Saturdays and Sundays. I would not play this on the console. So I tried it back when we were doing R&D for Saga Leucemia back in like 2014. I played this for like 2 or 3 months. I actually have screenshots on Twitter when I played this years ago when I was doing R&D, and I played it on the keyboard on the PC, and I didn't like it because I didn't like the controls. I love the way it controls on the console. Like, it plays very well as an action RPG. Like, it's just point and shoot and run around and everything else. Did you get did you end up getting Sea of Thieves, Joey? I didn't check my phone. I don't know if you'd sent me any more messages. I haven't checked my phone in a few hours because I was busy streaming and not paying attention. Because if you did, I'm going to have to go download Sea of Thieves tonight. You got a copy ordered, okay, but you don't have it yet. So I don't have to download it tonight then. Okay, well I won't download it tonight because I also need to download Path of Exile so that I can start doing a series around Path of Exile. Because that's 70 gigs and then it was 30 gigs, 35 gigs for Sea of Thieves. And I was like, shit, my internet's going to be upset with me if I do 110 gigs of downloads tonight. My backwoods internet's gonna be like, yep, cut you off. I've heard a lot of good stuff about Last Epoch as well, but I'm not gonna go buy an early access game at the moment. I got too many other things I can play. I'm telling you, the Xbox Game Pass is like one of the best things ever because there's just so much stuff I can play. I literally have all 3 of the Dragon Age games. I downloaded those like a month ago, and they're just sitting here on the Xbox. You know, I could totally replay all 3 of the Dragon Age games, and I will at some point. But I was like, Game Pass, it's there. It's like, why not?
Smart fighter quits while he's ahead.
But anyway, yes, this game is great for consoles. I've been really enjoying it. Let's go get to the Mithril Mine, and then I have got to go bio. My 2 cups of coffee have just like gone straight through me. Ride my snail, dude. Joey, are you still here? By the way, I gotta show you this. If you're still here, I gotta show you this animation. You'll dig this. So if you're still here, Joey. Red J says I still play my wizard and every once in a while. Check this out, Joey. Like when I mount my snail, dude, check out the mount animation. My snail picks me up with its head and chucks me onto the saddle. I freaking love it. Bloop. I totally switched over from the horse. The horse is so boring because this thing's like bloop. It's so epic. It's such a hideous creature. But it's just the animation just gets me every time. Bloop. I love it. All right. Into the Mithril Mines. I gotta go hit the head.
But the acceptance of lies.
I'll be right back. Alright. I'll tell you what doesn't play very good on the console was Pillars of Eternity 1 and 2. They just did not play very well on the console. The console port for Pillars of Eternity 1 wasn't bad, but the one for 2 is... I honestly started playing the second game, and I really love it. I own them on the PC, but I wanted to do the playthrough here on the Xbox. I just couldn't really push through with it because they just did a really bad... It's not a very good port in my mind, whereas this port is very good. Oh, got a lore tidbit. Soon after establishing... Oh, hang on, why am I getting... My dude just went running off. I guess we're not going to read that lore snippet. Alright, we're supposed to find and defeat the war troll in this dungeon. How can I find the lore? Because in the middle of reading that... Journal? Aha! No, that's just that particular quest. Campaigns? No, that's not it either. Lore! There we are. Spire speak. Here we go. Okay, I need to finish reading this stuff. When Torrent are established and mining operations well underway in the rich mithril vein further up in the mountain, Florin Icehammer and his Icehammer clan seemed well on their way to establishing a secure foothold on Spire's peak. With the exception of minor thefts by the neighboring Winterkill goblins, the Icehammer clan grew in peace. That tranquility came to an end when Florin Icehammer finally located the ancient Winter Forge mystical altar. Oh, I already read that one. Oh, here we are. The mines. Here we are. Soon after establishing Torrendar, the Icehammer dwarves discovered a rich mithril vein running through Icespire's eastern-facing sister peak. The clan quickly made plans for a subterranean keep to house the growing dwarven population in Icespire Peak, and a tapped-out mineshaft became an armory into which Florin would eventually place the recovered Icehammer artifact. When the Winter Forge awakened, the vengeful frost giants and their troll allies laid waste to the mine and the dwarves inside. Now the mine lays unused, but far from empty. Ice trolls and winter wolves lurk within the blood-stained halls of the Icehammer mine, denying the dwarves a chance to reclaim their riches, their comrades, and the Icehammer. This is when I always want to give a shout out to the writers who put together all this lore, because it's one of those tasks. Not a lot of people appreciate how much time goes into writing good quality lore for people. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Alright. Oh, we're gonna have to go down. Killed 10 trolls. Don't know which way I need to go. there's a bunch of bad guys here. I better be strategic about this. Back up. Oh, no. Back it up even further. Okay, we got wolves over there. Oh, did I bring the trolls too? No, I think I just brought the wolves. Oh, shit, they're not coming in. Here, boys. Okay. Man, I feel like I maybe just can avoid all these trolls. Oh, I did. There's a glowing trail finally, so I'm deep enough down in here now. Oh, there he is right there. Well, hopefully he doesn't summon all the trolls that I just snuck past. Because that would kind of suck. The Ice War Troll. Oh, by the way, Joey, if you're still here, this would be another game that we could totally play because it's free. Like if you wanted to play this together, I don't know. I'm sure there's a ton of console games out there that we could try. Also, Joey, I own food for thought. I own not through Game Pass, but I think it would probably let me tie the account together. But I own all the Solasta expansions to date, so we could play that together as well. But just food for thought as you get your Xbox situated into the house. Oh shit, he brought friends. Oh no, that's not good. Totally sounds like he just yelled blood is water. Man, I am starting to have to chug these health potions. I may need to switch out to my healer companion, which I've never used yet. So that's like a lightning bolt in the sense that it only does like a straightforward path. I'm going to have to pay attention to that. So I'm going to have to be a little more strategic about the placement of those. White pearl. Retrieve the ice hammer. Place looks pretty cool. Lore. The Ice Hammer is a dwarven throwing hammer crafted for the ancestors of the Ice Hammer clan. The hammer can only be lifted by a dwarf of Ice Hammer descent and would return unerringly to the hand that threw it until it plunged into the frost giant Lakar's chest. There it struck the Winter Forge, an artifact of Thrym and the source of Lakar's size and power. Stuck immovably in the Winter Forge, the Ice Hammer lay undisturbed for decades. When Florin Ice Hammer dislodged it to reclaim his clan's heirloom, he inadvertently awakened the Winter Forge and opened a tiny portal to the elemental chaos. While the Ice Hammer sat in the vaults of the nearby mithril mine, the portal slowly grew, eventually becoming discovered and exploited by vengeful frost giants. They said it can only be lifted by dwarves, so how am I going to be able to pick this up? Okay. I swear the lore said it could only be picked up by dwarves.
Lives are ephemeral.
Oh, I like that raven pet bird that he's got.
Watch your back. You really did. This hammer will be a rallying point for our entire clan. The giants won't be able to stop us now.
I love how he keeps burping. Level 13! Woo woo! Alright, inventory please. That is better than what I've got.
The Ice Hammer is back in our hands, thanks to you. However, we still don't have the military power to defeat their main army. That's why the Ice Hammer is so important. Our leader, Florin Ice Hammer, has brought a small band of elite warriors even farther up the mountain. Bring the Ice Hammer to him, and he'll explain further.
Alright, so we are taking this back to Florin. Hey, they are yelling, in your guts, in your eye. Oh man, there's... Oh yeah, I remember this. This is the screenshot I have on Twitter from years ago. This is the axe. Lakar's axe grew with him when the giant tapped the energy of the Winter Forge, becoming truly colossal in scale. With this massive weapon, Lakar cut bloody swaths through the dwarven lines, cleaving chasms and rifts into the mountain itself. When he died, the axe fell from his hand. The mountain settled over the years, and the axe formed a bridge between the mithril-rich region known as Windchill and the desolate White Crags. I do remember this place. This is one of the places I saw when I played the game for the first time years and years and years ago. And I totally have a screenshot of this on Twitter. Like, a really old screenshot. You'll have to dig back and find it from years ago. But this giant axe. We'll get a better view of it up here at the top. Here, let me can I pan the camera around? I cannot. Not unless I'm out here. But look at that, it's just a giant axe. Very God of War. There were some really good visuals like this in God of War as well. Also, I hope there's colliders here because I don't want to fall off. Oh, when I jump, my snail leaves this trail of slime. Florin Icehammer led his people to Spire speak with promises of reclaimed history, vast wealth, and a new home, only to watch that dream turn to nightmare when Hermner's savage army put his people to the sword. He refuses to abandon the peak and desperately searches for a way to turn the tide on the giants. Him and a handful of his best warriors are determined to strike at Hermner's lieutenants. They have a small camp hidden in the White Crags. From here they lead daring raids.
as much as it grates on the ice hammer. With this, we can quiet the source of Rimnu's power.
Yes, I brought you a goodie. But before I take any quests, I like your map table, bro. My bitrate went down. YouTube, my internet's getting cranky, looks like. They're like, you've been streaming too long. You're using up all of our bandwidth. I want to scroll in just a little. I like that map table with the candle on it and everything else. It's very nice. What else we got in the camp? Well, hang on while I'm sitting here. I need to, forgot to do this over here. Where is... It's not that one. Ah, it's this one. What's up, Liam? 1 year since you became a member of the channel. Well, welcome to the 1 year anniversary, sir. You know what I need to do is I need to stop being lazy about supporting my friends' Patreons, because Joe's got a Patreon, you've got a Patreon. I've just been very lazy about that. I need to be a better, more supportive person, because everybody supports me, and turnabout is fair trade. I need to stop spending so much money on other shit. Did you ever finish getting your Patreon set up, Liam? I know you made a video about it, but I don't remember if you ever linked to it or not. Technically, you've been a member for a lot longer than 1 year, but you've been a member of this channel for a year. At least technically, you've been a supporter since 2014. Starting with t-shirts years and years and years ago. Alright, those posts are out on Discord and the like. By the way, there's an interview with the directors of the Dungeons and Dragons movie today, and they were talking about the conversations they had with Wizards of the Coast when they were, going through the screenwriting process and everything of the current film. And they have not ruled out the possibility of doing other films not necessarily in the Forgotten Realms. This is what they said during the interview today. But they also said that if they were to do a sequel, it would be cool to take the characters that were from this movie, have them level up a bit, and have them do other adventures, maybe meet Driz Stewart along the way. It was a very interesting interview. I think it was over at Polygon. I'm really looking forward to watching the movie. I obviously have to wait till it becomes available in digital media, but I can't wait.
Name's Orift. I'm in charge of our scouts and spies here in the White Cracks. Florin ordered me to bring our best scouts and spies with us here to this forward camp. Even now, they're watching the giants' every move from deep behind the enemy lines. The problem is getting that information back from them so we can make decisions. Before I sent them out, I instructed them to leave messages carved into the stone of the mountain for us to find, and I'm expecting some of the reports back very soon. Trek a ways up the mountain and bring back the communications they've left for us.
Assuming I can read the dwarven communications. By the way, this guy's armor is not only cool, but look at that shield on his back. His sword looks kind of dinky. It looks more like a rapier. But I like his shield and I like his armor.
Rimner is using the Winterforge to spread otherworldly coldness to all of Icespire Peak and beyond. Further up the mountain, you'll find icy spires coming up from the ground, freezing everything nearby. I want you to melt them. Here, take this orb. It's made by that traitorous wizard that conned us out of our gold. I told him to make it specifically to destroy the ice spires. It wasn't cheap, but it works and is simple to use. There are too many spires to destroy all of them, but everyone destroyed buys us time.
Okay, that's another quest.
With all the trouble you made for the giants down at Torunda and the triage camp, Grimnir ordered 3 of his top lieutenants to personally come oversee things up here. They're fanatically devoted to Grimnir, and just as merciless and cruel. They call themselves Grimnir's Hands. They need to die. What do you say, adventurer? Feel like testing your mettle against some frost giants?
Yes. We've already killed a few frost giants, so we're good.
Did you hear that?
Alright, I will be right back. Gonna check on Chris. It's about 7:30, see how she's at with chores and everything else. If she needs help, be right back.
Curse these wolves and their noses. Curse these wolves and their noses. word the trolls are on the move. Did you hear that? These wolves and their noses. Did you hear that?
Alright, Chris is wrapping up chores. We're caught up on The Mandalorian, so I don't have any shows to watch with her tonight. I'm not in combat. One giant down. Alright, what am I supposed to do up here? Read the scout's messages. Okay. That's one. Alright, I need to back away from him for the moment. Alright, that's two of those boys down. Where's that other? Two of three. There's one over there. Oh shit, I ran right into those guys. Whoops! Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna have to chug a health potion. Is this the last dude I need? Guess what, buddy? Oh yeah! I am Giant Slayer. What's up, Eugene? Alright, looks like I've got all three of these quests done. Time to return to Florin Icehammer. Go, snail, go!
Good work destroying those spires. The more frozen
These are all the
wastelands
same
the
voice
spires
actors from
appear,
Star Trek
the
Online.
more
I find that to be...
advantage the frost
It's
giants will
the
have.
same studio, so they're obviously working with a small talent pool, which is kind of cool. Keep it
That's some
in-house.
impressive work there. Messages from our scouts, eh?
Alright, before I take your next quest, I need to check the gear I just got, because I got a whole slew of things. 550, yes. Doesn't matter. Oh, hang on. It's doing a weird thing there. There we go. I guess if you hold it, I didn't know that if you hold the button down, it automatically equips it. Okay. Do we have a point vendor here? I don't think we do. Yeah, that's just a normal.
By destroying those spires and slaying the hands, you've dealt the giants a mighty blow. We may have the opportunity now to deal even more damage, if the information you collected from our scouts is correct. Talk to Orif Mountwatch.
Listen closely. Our two best agents, Aaron Rockstrider and Rurik Hillhill, are stationed at the very top of Ice Spire Peak. In their messages, they said that there was an opportunity for a small force to strike a blow against the frost giants.
Alright, take the tunnel and climb up. Okay.
Florin and I agree that this opportunity cannot be passed over. We've just completed digging our secret tunnel to Jotunstead. Take the tunnel, climb to the top of the mountain, make contact with the two scouts, and see exactly what this opportunity is.
Alright, so that shoots forth an electrostorm, but it's like a lightning bolt because it goes straight forward.
Hey, you're the adventurer who's been helping us out, aren't you?
I am your adventurer. Alright, the final climb is this. Oh, there's a fast travel? Oh, how cool is that? I didn't know there was tables you could use to fast travel.
Oh, it's good to see. Unfortunately, it's only me here. That information we sent back.
Uh-oh, Rurik didn't make it.
You've noticed the winter wolves.
Slay the Rhyme Hound. Oh, I'm gonna get a new bow.
Rurik and I found out where they're coming from. Not only that, but we found their patriarch, the Rhyme Hound.
Look at the size of that paw print.
The den is right nearby, and inside is the last major obstacle standing between us and the...
About to go hunting for the big-ass puppy dog. It's taking its sweet time loading the zone.
What is true but the acceptance of life?
Cannot use my mountain here, obviously. Oh, hello. Try to be all sneaky. Can I break that dwarf free, I wonder? Oh shit. Puppies! No, I can't do anything with that particular dwarf. Is this an older game? Yeah, I think Neverwinter dropped in 2010, 11? Hang on, I'm trying to type. My phone is sticking on top. It launched in 2013. And then it came out on the consoles 2015 for Xbox and 2016 for PlayStation 4. So, but it's dropped in 2013. So yeah, it's 10 years old at this point. With a shitload of content. There is a ton of content for this game. Is that like a... Oh, it requires Arcana skill or kit. Hey, puppies. Traps on the floor, it looks like. Alright. Oh, look at that. Is that him up top? That is the Rhyme Hound. Alright. Strategic about this. I wonder if I have to... Oh shit, there's a troll. Alright, the question is, how do I get up there? I guess we're going straight up those stairs right there. Thievery kit, which I don't have. Yeah, it's action combat, so it's very... I mean, I'm just playing on a controller. I'm on the Xbox playing. I'm on the Series X, but it's right trigger. It's very simple, man. Like, I tried this years and years and years ago when it was only PC, and I didn't really care for the controls. But on the console, honestly, it plays like any other action MMORPG. It's super simple. I don't really think it's got the best combat, but I've done if you end up liking what you see here tonight, Harvey, you can check out. I've done 2 reviews for this game because I just started playing it about a month ago. So I did a first impressions video, and then I did an Is It Worth It review. And my first impressions, I was kind of like, meh. But then Liam, who was here early, I don't know if he's still around, but Liam's a big D&D fan and was like, man, you should really try it. The story is really good. So I stuck with it. The story is really good. So if you like like Dungeons and Dragons and you like Forgotten Realms, the story actually is really good, even though the gameplay isn't that great. But honestly, the story is really good. The voice acting's all right. What's up, Graham? You been traveling? You hope things are good? Yeah, things are good. It's a new month. New things to do this month. Chris and I have a whole bunch of new projects going on with the homestead. She got 7 new chickens, so we got a meat chicken experiment happening. I posted it out on the homesteading channel today, I think, or maybe it was yesterday. And then my brother finally got his Xbox today, so he finally got an Xbox Series X. So he got Sea of Thieves on back order, so as soon as he gets Sea of Thieves, I would say you can expect to see me playing some Sea of Thieves with my brother from time to time. I already played Sea of Thieves about a year ago. I think I did some videos here on my channel. I did the Pirates of the Caribbean storyline. I think it's called A Pirate's Tale, which is like 5 or 6 missions. That was all I did. I just dabbled and did the PvE stuff. But since my brother's got his Xbox now, as soon as he gets Sea of Thieves, we're going to do that. We're starting Valheim this week. I got everything set up over Saturday, so I'm playing on the Xbox, but we've got some Mujeans joining us and some other people are joining for Valheim. And then on Thursdays, we're playing Star Wars Old Republic. And on the Starforge server, might get some people to join. We're going to try to get a guild ship going. We're playing Thursdays for those who might want to join for that. Oh shit, he brought ads. Alright, Big Bad Wolf's down. Alright, what are we supposed to do here? Just leave the den, it says? Alright, so we took care of the wolf. Oh, I got a rare achievement. The Icy Guardian. Cool. Yeah, I feel like it was about a year ago, Graham. I only did maybe, I don't know, maybe it was like 7 or 8 streams was all I did was Sea of Thieves, because I literally only played through those Pirates of the Caribbean missions, which were a lot of fun, to be honest with you. There are 3 sports games that I do, Graham. I've done every MLB The Show since 2019. I'm actually, so I don't stream those sessions usually, but I'll be doing my full review of the show 2023 here in about another week. I'm already probably 20 hours in since I started. Like I'm going through the rookie season, so I'm still in the Double-A. So I play it all the way through. So I haven't even gotten to the actual MLB part. I've just been going through and I don't simulate the games. So I literally will sit here. I'll play probably 6 or 8 games a day. It's usually something I do when I'm working, and I'll just turn around and I'll play, a couple sessions, go back, work a little bit, play a couple more games, come back and play. I love MLB The Show. That's one of the #1 sports games I play. The other one is NBA 2K. I love NBA 2K. I don't stream those games though very often. Those are mostly just for me. I also like Madden a little bit, and I'm not a huge Madden fan. I will play it. I didn't review it. I did Madden 2023, played it for about 2 weeks, and got it out of my system. And I also like the F1 games, the Formula 1 games. But I think those are really the only... And the Formula 1's not really a sport game, so to speak. But I do... Out of all of those, I'd say MLB The Show is probably one of my favorites with the NBA 2K. I like those games. Harvey says Football Manager and OTP are my first games. Nice. Uji says can't wait to build some nice buildings. Nice buildings! Letting that redneck come out a little bit tonight, aren't I? Getting some nice buildings built, yo.
As much as it grates on my... Good to see you're still with us.
Oh, I just want the new bow, buddy. That is a horrific looking bow. That is just obnoxiously large.
You've helped us a great deal against the frost giants.
Oh, this is gonna be the final mission for the
Not
zone,
long
I bet.
ago, stopping their advance seemed hopeless. But now we are poised to strike at the very seat of Frimnir's power. We will split their forces in 3 ways. Our army,
The only thing I don't like about the NBA 2K games recently is that the last couple of releases have focused way more on the multiplayer. Like they have you go into the neighborhood way too much. Like the most recent one, there was way too much like running around and doing all these like missions within the zone of like where all the other people hang out, as opposed to just playing the games. That was kind of annoying. Alright, so this is going to ding us to 14, and we're going to get my melee weapons. And it looks like another feat that we'll be able to choose. I also played, I've been playing a lot of Star Trek Online offline. I played for about 6 hours yesterday. I'm level 48, so I'm almost to 50. I think the cap is 60. But I'm just working my way through all the missions. Shit, what am I supposed to do up here? Pick up the flag. Oh shit, I'm in combat. But usually with MLB, I'll play a shortstop for like 2-3 seasons, and then I'll switch over and do a pitcher for 2 or 3 seasons. That usually gets me about 3 months in. By the time I'm 3 months in, I'm done. Like that. By that point, I'm done with MLB, ready to do the next one. Snail Peak, yeah, never-ending story.
What is real? What is an illusion?
Alright, we need to slay Grass the Gut Cruncher. Alright, I'm getting a little bit better about the aiming of that ability. God, that cloak is hideous that I'm wearing. Uh-oh. That troll's gonna come on through here, isn't he? Oh, he's gonna blow up. Thank you for saving me. Our leader Florin went on ahead. Okay. Well, we're supposed to meet him for the final boss, I think. Grass the gut cruncher. What's up, buddy? Hello. Guess what? Get you with that. Bye-bye, grass. Too slow. We need to reach the Winter Forge, it says. Oh, that was a lot of dudes who just dropped down from the ceiling. Oh shit, I should not. Oh, are they all coming for me? That's not good. Oh, that is not good. Oh no! Alright, time to use my special. Oh no, not enough action points. Oh, I got it now. Hang on. Switch. Alright, let's use them. Oh, I got a few of them. I can't believe I survived that. That was kind of brutal. And there's some wolves back over there too. They're definitely packing on the enemies in this instance. What is this? Take them all. What just happened there? That was a weird. I misfired on that one. Overshot.
Blood is warm!
Blood is warm! I like it. What is that? Oh, there's a chest. Anything good? Nope. Nothing really. Uh-oh, dead miner. Take the pickaxe. Which I guess may be useful later on. Oh, I guess I'm supposed to use it on the wall. Makes sense. Golem Slayer, 10 kill 10 golems, which I've done now. Ooh, I got some bracers. Can I wear those? They are better than what I have. What is the rope for? I've never seen a... This is a 50-foot length of rope. Treasure, no level requirement. Alright. Oh! What's up here? There's Florin.
I'm badly wounded, and my warriors are dead. By the very stone of the earth. If I could go on, I would. But if we are to close the Winter Forge, it is all up to you, my friend. Fight your way to Hrimnir. If you can defeat him, I can use the ice hammer to close the Winter Forge. In the next cavern is a golem, stronger than any I have yet seen. That golem is what killed most of my men and forced us to retreat. You'll need to defeat that thing to reach Hrimnir. Be careful.
Alright. About to find out. Winter Forged Golem. Here we go. Oh shit, he disappeared. What a bastard. Alright, that's interesting. Oh, he's gonna be tough. Man, he's ducked that both times now. Okay, we got ads now too. Uh-oh, Tulip's going down. Woot! We survived. Alright, there's a treasure chest. Potion of defense. I might chug some of that actually. Wait, is that a bag of holding? Embroidered purse. Alright, now we need to slay Hribnir, which is a big bad mother. I think this has been the largest dungeon we've done so far. This has been pretty, pretty significant. Definitely more than the, 15-minuters that I've done before. And it's been pretty challenging, to be honest with you. Like, these fights have not been straightforward tank and sprint. Oh, crap, they're on the bridge. Oh, there he is. There's the big old troll himself. Oh, that's a giant, sorry. Alright. Alright, I better sit up and pay attention for this fight. Because I have a feeling this is going to be a rough one.
The Winter Forge is mine to command.
Oh, he's that I can't get away from. Oh. Oh, he froze me, and the sound got all weird. That's kind of cool. Oh. Alright, should have got him with that. Oh, ads. Get him. Go. Alright, he's down. Alright, cool. It got rid of all of them. Sweet. Alright, here comes Florin. He's going to shut down the forge, I think.
Your master is dead, Winter Forge. And now, with my father's hammer, I fight as well.
Are you going to shut it down, bro?
It is done.
Okay.
Thanks to you, my friends. The Ice Hammer sleeps again. Forever.
Felt kind of anticlimactic. I was hoping for a animation sequence.
What is truth but the acceptance of life?
Alright, back to the camp. This should wrap up the zone, I would assume. I think we're done with I'm 3 hours and 10 minutes in, and we started this zone at the beginning of the stream, but I did a little bit of crafting tutorial at the beginning, so I'd say start to finish this entire zone took about 3 hours to clear. That's pretty good. It's also a good, I feel like that's a pretty good representation of what it's been taking me to clear each zone. It's about 3 hours. But I usually don't do them in one setting, I usually do them in 2 settings. This is a rarity for me, everybody. I usually don't stream for 3 hours on a Sunday night. I'm only streaming like 2 times a week right now, and one of those sessions is usually the Wednesday night D&D stuff. Or Starfinder, I should say. It's not D&D at the moment.
Tales of your deeds will live on in Icehammer legend forever, friend. We will guard the Winter Forge for all time, and make sure that its power is never again released into our world.
Cool. Level 14. All right, I got a new some new weapons. Pretty sure I got a new feat also. Yep. Using a ranged encounter reduces your other ranged encounter cooldowns by 3 seconds. Yeah, I want this one. Storm's Recovery.
You have turned the tides of battle.
Yep, return to the Pryx Enclave. Off we go. Alright, that's a wrap, folks. I'm done. Arrgh. Thanks for hanging out tonight, everybody. Thanks for the super chat earlier, Joe. I appreciate the $10. We're in a new month. I'd like to make $1,000 this month. We're gonna see if we hit our $1,000 this month. I have not set a goal for the channel since like last October, September, October, something like that. But I probably should start setting goals. See if we can hit the goals. I need to. We need to make $1,000 a month to do all the things that need to get done. Because we gotta, YouTube takes their cut of that, and then I gotta pay taxes and everything else. It's about $1,000 a month for us to see what we need to pay our bills. So I'll probably start doing some accountability this month again. We'll see. I just go. I don't stream a lot. I don't necessarily need to make money from streaming. That's why I don't stream that often. But it helps. Every drop helps. So thanks to those of you who support. The memberships are great. Super thanks on all the videos and stuff. I appreciate all those of you who are supporting over at the Patreon page as well. My brother and I are about to wrap up that point-and-click game, so we're about to have all 3 components done. The book is out with alpha readers right now. I got a deadline of April 15th, so they've got a couple more weeks to get that back in, and then it's going to go into revisions. I already know that there's another chapter that needs to be written, so I've gotten some feedback from some people. There's a point of confusion early on in the book where some characters sort of skip around, and the reason I didn't think about it was because when I wrote those chapters, we were in the middle of streaming the tabletop session, so people who were following along were getting that storyline from the tabletop streams. And so I kind of just didn't think about, I need to have that in the book for the people who didn't watch the streams or who didn't buy the tabletop book, because that story is in the tabletop book as well, but it's told from a different perspective. So there's a chapter I gotta put in the middle of the early section of the book. So that revision will happen at the end of well, mid to late April. I'll start working on the revisions, and then I've got, I think, 3 more sections to write for my part of the point and click to be done. I've got the Adventurers Guild and the quest lines for the Adventurers Guild, and then there is an after the Adventurers Guild running around stuff, and then there's a final scene at the beach. I have 3 more scenes to write, which is probably about 5 hours of writing. Doesn't sound like a lot, but I don't do it all at once. Thanks, Mujin. $5, appreciate it. And then my brother's almost caught up, so I gotta get the next section, which is the Adventurers Guild, has to be done this week. And then Chris is working on artwork for the next stuff, and I've got about half the maps done that I need to get done for the tabletop for the next module. That's roughly done. We have an internal goal of having that point and click done by June, so theoretically it'll be ready by June. But the question is, do we publish it, or are we gonna look for a publisher? We're gonna pitch to some people first and see what we hear back, and find out what we hear back in terms of what do they want to offer us, What do the timelines look like? I don't. We don't have to have a publisher because we've already produced the game. There's no money needed. It's not like it's not like we're going to a publisher and saying give us $25,000 to finish the game. We have a finished game. We're looking for a publishing partner for marketing purposes. Can we find someone who's going to give us a deal that we want? And if so, how long does that deal take? Is it 6 months or is it a year? You know. Thanks, Graham. Appreciate that. Thanks, everybody. So we're still working on all that stuff, but June is his internal deadline for having that done, and it's looking good. I mean, we're really close. It's literally he's wrapped up he's doing the dialogue scene for the next part of the Forge right now, which means he's almost ready for the Adventurers Guild. Once we're done with that scene, we got to move him to the Hunter's Lodge, back to the bookstore, and then off to the beach. So and at the end of the beach. We've brainstormed all this stuff publicly. The end of the beach is when he gets the boat and he looks out across the sea, across that big inner sea, and sees the volcanic island at the heart of that. And that's where he has to go for the next game. That's the next chapter. And that's where he has to go into the old dwarven ruins. Excuse me. And find the old legendary sword that's buried in the corpse of the dragon. So that's the next game. And that may or may not be another point and click, or it might be an RPG. It's going to depend on conversations with publishers, because we're not just looking for a partner to publish this game. We'd like to find a publishing partner who is willing to publish this game and then, actually, pay for development of the next game. Because we would like to bring on a couple of programmers and actually expand the next game to be a full-on turn-based RPG. We'll see. Got lots of stuff in the fire. And then at some point, I have to travel up to the States this summer. Which will probably be, I don't know, June, July or something like that. Who knows? Anyway, thanks everybody for the super chats and everything else. Thanks for hanging out tonight. It was a nice Sunday evening. This was an unplanned stream, by the way. It was 5 o'clock. And I looked at Chris and says, well, I don't have any movies to watch. We already watched all your Mandalorian episodes. Do you want to do anything, or are you just going to do stuff? And she's like, I got to do laundry and take care of my chickens, and why don't you just go stream? So I went ahead and did streaming. Figured I'd play this tonight because I hadn't played about 8 or 9 days. I did Star Trek yesterday for like 6 hours. Off stream, though. It was just me. I had nothing else to do yesterday. I was working and streaming and working and streaming and working and streaming. And I've got videos already preloaded out to April 11th. So I've already got, the next... What is today? The 2nd? So I've got the next, 10 days of videos already scheduled out and programmed out. So I'm way ahead of production. It's about to be... Semana Santa here in Mexico, which is Easter week. So everything's shut down for like the next week. This whole week, basically, everything's shut down. So since we're not gonna be able to do anything this week, I told Chris we're just gonna sit at home. I'm just gonna keep banging out video production and try to see if I can't get 3 weeks ahead of myself with video production, and then maybe do some streams in between there. It also depends on power outages, because we are in hot season, which means we'll start getting power outages and stuff with the grid getting overloaded with people using air conditioners. And I think that's a good place for me to wrap it up, everybody. Alright, I'm gonna head out, see what Chris is up to, maybe get something to eat. When is Power of the Ring Season 2 anyway? Not till next year. It's not happening this year. We still don't even have... They're still filming, so yeah, I would estimate next spring, summer, at the earliest will be Rings of Power Season 2, and then the Wheel of Time Season 2 is supposed to happen this year, but we don't know when yet. They haven't announced a launch date yet for Season 2 of Wheel of Time, so Strange New Worlds is what I'm looking forward to. That's June. I gotta actually finish watching Strange New World season 1 because it launched when I was moving, so I only got to see the first couple episodes, and I never got caught up on it. So now that I'm done with, I'm wrapping up Picard right now. I'm done with The Last of Us. Mandalorian's gonna wrap up soon, so I've got time. I'm gonna start getting caught up on Strange New Worlds, and I'm about to rewatch a film I have not watched in a very long time. But the reason I'm rewatching this is because I have a video I want to make about this film. It's called Ronin, which is if you've never seen it, it's a John Frankenheimer film from 1998 with Robert De Niro, Jean Reno, Natasha McKellen, Stellan Skarsgård, Sean Bean, Jonathan Pryce. It is a fucking amazing movie. And I haven't watched it in many, many years, but it's got some amazing car chases in it, but there's some stuff in it. There's a reason I wanted to watch this movie again, and I'm making a video about it because there's some cool stuff that I want to talk about on the channel. So that I got to try to do that this upcoming week as well. It's a really good movie. Really, really good movie. Anyway, folks, catch you next time.